Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Better Call Saul. Last time on Better Call Saul, we had Pinata. Let's see. Hold on, my tongue itches. Anywho, more to the important stuff. Last time on Better Call Saul, Kim went to Schweikert and Coakley to basically give them a banking division. So she is going to be in charge of their new banking division with basically capitalizing on Mesa Verde. She's doing this because she'll have a lot of people at Schweikert and Coakley who will do a lot of the work for Mesa Verde. She will pocket the money, and she will be able to go do the PD overflow, I think is what they called it. Public defender overflow, the pro bono stuff that she really cares about. And this will also probably be good for Mesa Verde because they will, there won't be, hopefully, any mistakes. And if there are, it'll be on Schweikert and Coakley. I don't think that was part of it, but hey, maybe that'll be a nice bonus. Meanwhile, Gus and Mike have moved the Germans into a facility. It's a giant warehouse, basically, with two houses and like a basketball court, I think, and a projector and some TVs and some chairs and a bar. And interesting stuff, It's just a very interesting place, but this is where they're going to be while they work on building the lab under the laundromat for the next 6 to 10 months. However, one of them is already causing a little trouble, Kai, so they're going to have to keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, Howard's still down in the dumps, but Jimmy gave him a pep talk. It was a pep talk. It was just as, one of those sort of back-ass sort of pep talks, So hopefully Howard gets it together. I don't know. Meanwhile, Jimmy wanted to deal with the hooligans out on the street, so he got Huel, and I believe the big guy's name is actually Clarence. So he got the two of them to intimidate them with piñatas, and it worked, and they aren't going to be messing with him. So now he has free reign to sell cell phones. It's kind of a ridiculous thing that he had to do when you really stop and think about it, but hey, those kids need to be taught a lesson because they suck. Anywho. And yeah, I guess that was it. We didn't see any Nacho last episode. We haven't seen Nacho for like 2 episodes now. So maybe we'll get something here. But yeah, with that said, why don't we just go ahead and jump right into this episode of Better Call Saul. Here we go. Oh. Doing a split screen. Clearly multiple mornings. Oh my god, are we starting with a musical montage? I'll add it to the list. I've slowly been building a list of music used in Better Call Saul. I'm gonna make this an entire playlist, basically. Saul Goodman. Oh my gosh. Need a Call, Buy from Saul. Better Call Saul. So he's going by Saul Goodman now. Oh, he's got Huel. I practice every day to find some clever lines to say to make the meaning come through. I wonder, how many days this is passing, Like, what if we're watching a time jump? That'd be so cool. Oh, no. Now they're going in separately. Oh. She's getting it off. Something Stupid, which is the name of this episode. I do have subs on, don't I? Okay, I do. I was just making sure. She got the cast off! So it's been 3 weeks since last episode, at least. October 2003. I didn't check the date on the first one. The time is right, your perfume fills my hair, the stars get red and all the nights so blue. January. Oh my god, we're really passing through time. I said after season 3 there may be something, a time jump, and here it is. Oh. They're alone. It's 2004. Oh. This sucks. They're drifting apart. And we had a time jump. So, I'm pretty sure that also said PPD cases completed. So is he done? Can he be a lawyer again?
What do you think?
Huel.
So no more cell phones?
Este es verde. Ese es verde.
Hey. Hector's... Oh. He's getting there. He's getting there.
Sorry, I'll take care of that.
You know...
Está bien, Hector. Solo un espasmo muscular, okay?
You know, I want to... What I'm thinking is, what's running through his head? But, quite honestly, what is running through his head? Well, something's running through his head, at least.
Hey, I gotta say, I'm obsessed with your tie.
Oh, it's a Schweiker party. Look at all those cowboys. Excuse me, Jiminy. She's helping the good people.
They see all of you out there cutting the powder in your matching Schweikert and Coakley parkas. Well, you're gonna make an impression. You will thank me later.
You certainly don't think small.
Nobody ever accused Jimmy of thinking
You know what?
small.
Aspen. Hey, that's where you want to go.
Okay, chill out.
It's a billionaire's playground.
Okay.
Aspen is like a 9-hour bus ride.
Take a plane.
Hey, you're right. You're right. 9 hours. That is a long time to be sitting on a bus.
Yes, it is.
But what's that I hear?
Is he like weirdly offended about this?
Aspen.
Can they
here
obviously
we
not?
come.
Can they not see he's obviously
Come on,
drunk?
Rich.
Well, that was something.
Yep.
He had one too many drinks and kept suggesting different places. What is the problem here? Why was Rich so offended by that? So it's a decent amount of time later. I wonder how much progress they've made. Ooh. They have made a lot of progress.
I think if you see the evidence, you'll be very encouraged.
Does she know what's up, or...?
You'll see this was an especially productive session.
She must be in on it, because no doctor would be sharing this. Oh. Checked out her
Do you
ass.
think that was purposeful?
Look at that eyebrow go up.
You've done magnificent work.
He knows. It's still Hector.
Hector's progress is very promising. With sustained, intensive care, he may eventually learn how to talk and even walk again.
You don't need that.
Perhaps we should temper our expectations.
This is just the right amount he needs. Because he can let Hector stew in this.
And how big a pop are we talking about?
Uh-oh.
Oh, verdammt.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Coming right up.
So this is just it. Saul just has a back of a van. Honestly, you would think Saul would keep going with this business. Even as a lawyer.
This you? Saul Goodman?
That's right, officer.
You want to know where I got it? Off a drug dealer who got sprung today because he was using a drop phone that you sold him.
Okay.
Doesn't bother you that you're peddling to a bunch of lowlifes who use these things to sell drugs?
What my
That's
customers do
not
with the
illegal to sell a
phones
cell
after they leave
phone.
my possession, that's their business.
Get your van out of here, park it in front of a grocery store in Corrales, you know, someplace nice, and sell there. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of soccer moms that can use some phones.
I don't know. I think my customer base is right here.
I don't think you have any.
Get some new customers.
I don't feel the need to.
You have
See, I
no
got a
legal
permit,
standing here.
And I'm collecting sales tax, and this is a legitimate business, right? So anyone who wants to buy a phone from me is free to do so.
I'm asking nicely, okay?
And I
Yeah, and
respectfully
what are you gonna
decline.
do about it?
Okay, so as long as you make a buck, the whole world can just go in the crap.
Yeah,
Oh no, don't tell me he's gonna get hit. Hang on, got a bodyguard. No!
he's a cop.
Well, that's a problem.
Just trying to do his job. I hired him for security. He was trying to protect me. You were in plain clothes. He had no idea you were a police officer.
Oh, he knew all right.
How?
I picked him up 3 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, pickpocketing.
And he could tell from the back of your head.
Just do me a favor. Let's just shake hands, avoid the paperwork, and we just go home.
Do you a favor. I was asking you for a favor.
Fair enough.
Oh, I asked you nicely, and you told me to go screw myself.
I don't.
You
I
didn't
don't think I
have
used those
legal
words.
basis
I
for
knew
any
how.
of this. Okay, so just for if he has his degree, his license back, sue the guy. I think he has his license back by now.
What would happen if we sent Kai back to Germany?
Not good. Kai is my best demolition man. Sure, he's a close model, but he's a good boy. They all are.
Well, maybe that's the problem. They're boys.
Well, yes. But you can't keep men locked away forever. They need fresh air, a change of scenery, and you understand?
R&R.
Oh yeah.
Rest and relaxation.
Precisely. This is what they need.
Yeah.
R&R.
I mean, at least once.
Of course, Michael.
I got places I can go.
And no, that's not a good idea, Huel.
Better than going in.
Come on, you'll have a warrant on you. And that shit doesn't go away. You know, 3 years from now, you're pulled over for a broken taillight. And now you're not just a guy who shoved a cop. You're a guy who shoved a cop and ran.
I just want to drive with a broken tail light.
No.
Sooner or later, they're going to catch up with you.
He didn't get DB Cooper.
No. Technically. Depends on what show you watch.
What if I told you you're not going in?
Like, not at all. Not never. Because that's what it's going to take.
Yeah. Never.
This is like the
I
most
just
serious
don't
I've seen
skip.
Huel.
How you going to do that? You ain't even a lawyer.
A lawyer. Dude, I don't need to be a lawyer, all right?
So he doesn't have his license back.
I'm a magic man.
Is the plan to get Kim? Because, I mean, these are the cases she would
See,
take.
I would help Huel myself if I could, but I don't think he's going to wait around a month for me to be reinstated.
Still got a
You've been
month
selling
left.
drop phones on the street?
Kim,
Okay, this-
I just, if we could,
Hear me out.
look, Kim,
Please. This is a lot to take in, isn't it?
I'm not tearing down a cop.
That's okay.
Okay.
You tell me.
I will look into this. I'm not making any promises, but if it is as bad as you say it is, I don't know, maybe there is something I could do. Maybe.
Maybe. She's gonna do her best.
Thanks, Kim.
But
Listen, I really appreciate it.
she's not gonna do it the way you would do
Okay.
it.
Oh, excuse me, Jimmy. Oh, Viola, can you just... Thank you. This is unequal justice. In this case, the officer was not injured at all. He was hit with a bag of sandwiches. How can you justify giving Babineau 18 months?
Plus a year.
He has no history of violence.
There is no negotiation here, Kim.
This is bullshit.
And honestly, I don't understand why you want anything to do with this. On one side, I've got a decorated police officer doing his job. On the other, you have a professional thief who threw him to the ground. And our only witness is a scumbag, disbarred lawyer who peddles drop phones to criminals.
Oh, bitch. Oh, now you're in for it. Scumbag.
There's no way around it?
He's not gonna do what they're pushing for, I promise you that. But yeah, no matter what, he's gonna have to do some time.
We're just gonna have to argue it down.
Well, thanks for trying. I mean, if you say this is the only way we can legitimately do this, well, it's the only way.
So you're gonna tell him to stay put?
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
You do your thing, I'll do mine.
That's...
Jimmy, come on, what does that mean?
That's not inspiring.
Don't worry.
Now I'm worried. Jimmy. This case is absolute horse manure. Decorated cop doing his job. Oh. She did a U-turn. What the hell is happening here?
Jimmy, whatever you're doing, don't. Yeah, I know, but listen. I have a better way.
Oh no. Oh no, what's the way? Ah! Okay. You know, again, I said this last episode, but I feel like we're doing stuff now. You know? I still, honestly, it still feels like we're, you know, in between story arcs right now in the show. But, again, like this episode and last episode, I feel like many things have happened, you know? So, alright. Good. Good. Man, I mean, that... Okay, yes, it is a problem that Huel hit the officer. And... Because it was the fact that he just thwacked him with a bag of sandwiches, you know? Like, if it was, you know, him getting him off of Jimmy... choose your words more carefully, geez. But if it was him, you know, pulling him away, then, you know, then there wouldn't really be anything. But yeah, that is... But, I mean, this cop, man, decorated cop just doing his job. Like, okay, I get why he doesn't like Jimmy. I obviously get, or Saul, however you want to call him. I understand why he doesn't like this. Like, oh, you know, you're selling these phones to criminals and stuff. But it's like, but you have no legal basis to get him out of there, you know? Nothing. And yeah, and Jimmy knew that. He's a lawyer. Jimmy knew that he's got nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's just sort of, it's stupid. But I like that now, I like that this is all based on Huel. Like, that's really nice. I like that. I like having Huel, just be more a part of the plot, you know? Because we had him in that brief cameo in Chicanery, and then just that one moment last episode. But now he's like actually, he's actually a character, and we don't get that a lot from Huel, you know? Alrighty, so it is many months later, and I gotta check at the beginning. What did it say at the beginning for the PPD check-in? Oh, there's a good sign of how long this has been. On the on the sign on CC Mobile, it says Mother's Day deals. So Mother's Day, and then I believe this ends in January of 2004. So a lot of time has passed. Yeah. So the first one was June 2003. The second one was October. The last one was January of 2004. So yeah, quite a number of months have passed. That is crazy. And I said that. I said at the end of season 3 that there might be a time jump, but I was just 7 episodes off, apparently. So yeah, I mean, especially because I didn't think we would go through the entirety of Jimmy's suspension, you know? But we had to do a number of it. But man, and for all that time, he was selling these cell phones, and Kim just didn't know. It's only now that she knows what he's been doing, you know? Selling these drop phones. Okay, so yeah, it is many, many, many months later, which is crazy. But that's great. And yeah, I like how it's like, all right, you know, he needs to sell these cell phones, and it's like I said at the end of last episode, you know, I said like, oh, I wish he had told the punks, you know, don't, you know, spread the word, don't mess with Saul Goodman, you know. But yeah, he's definitely gone with that. If he's doing this stuff, he is Saul Goodman, you know? It's the same thing of the commercials. He's not Jimmy McGill, the lawyer you can trust. He's Saul Goodman now. So I like that. I guess just to continue on, let's just keep talking with Jimmy. So we had the party, the Schweikert and Coakley party. The office party. Okay, so like I'm not entirely sure what the faux pas was here. Like obviously he had, you know, maybe one too many drinks and he started, you know, talking a little louder, but all he was doing was suggesting some places to go. Like Rich Schweikert he looked kind of offended at this. It's like, okay, like just because the man's drunk and suggested you go to Aspen, like I don't know like what the big problem is. It could have just been that he's starting to be a nuisance, you know? I don't know. But that was interesting. I mean, yes, obviously he was drunk. He was starting to get a little out of order maybe, but I don't know. It was just sort of a strange, unless it was like, well, you know, he's suggesting these things that we can't feasibly do for the entire staff. I don't know, man, but I don't know. It was kind of a weird scene because Jimmy didn't go off and like really offend people. He was just talking about Aspen really loudly, and that caused a scene. I guess it's just because he was drunk. You have alcohol. You gotta expect someone to get drunk there. I don't know. Anyway. But that was interesting, and then we had everything with the cop. That cop, though, what a load of manure. Like, I get it. I get why he's frustrated. He's mad about this. It's like, oh, you know, these criminals are getting these phones from, you know, this Saul Goodman guy. But at the same time, all of this that he's doing is perfectly legal. Like, I don't know. Like, do you... Like, I'm trying to, like, think of, like... I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could liken this to... I mean, Jiminy Christmas, not to open up, like, a huge debate, but I guess you could liken this something to, like, gun control, you know? It's like, well, you know, if you restrict the guns, perhaps that could, you know, help with gun violence. It's possible. you know? So maybe if this guy's going and being like, hey, Saul, you need to stop what you're doing so that these criminals don't get these phones, so they can't stay ahead of us and stuff. I don't know. It's like, it's the frustrating thing of, I do 100% understand why this cop is infuriated, you know? I understand why he has this problem, because criminals are getting these phones that they can use once, throw away, and the cops are none the wiser. But, I mean, it's just sort of a thing of like, yeah, everything... I think the only reason I am frustrated about this is because Jimmy's the main character, you know? Because we've had, 37 episodes with him now? And that's just in Better Call Saul. We had plenty of episodes of him in Breaking Bad. Like, I think it's literally just, you know... It's literally just because we're on Jimmy's side. Yes, I understand. I mean, it's the same thing of like, you know, like just the other day. Just the other day in my rewatch of Breaking Bad, we got to the episode Sunset, which is, if you don't remember, it's the death of the RV. And that whole episode is basically Hank trying to get Jesse on having this RV. So they have to come up with this plan of getting Hank away so they can destroy the RV, and then all that evidence is gone. And on the one hand, you do understand Hank's frustration. He's gone to all these different RVs, and you know, and then at the end, you know, it's so terrible, and you root for Hank a bit more, obviously, than you root for this cop. But with everything of, you know, faking the phone call and Marie being injured and stuff, like, you understand that, but at the same time, you root for Jesse, you know? You root for Jesse not to get caught. Maybe, you know, maybe you half and half root for Walt. That you do kind of half and half root for Walt, but for the most part, you root for Jesse not being caught up in all of this and hoping that he, you know, gets that RV off the face of the earth so he'll be okay, you know? You don't want Hank to get him, even though Hank is pretty much completely justified. He is, you know, you do to an extent root for Hank in that, but you just root for Jesse more because, well, he's Jesse, you know? And if there is anyone, I think, in Breaking Bad that you can root for without feeling any sense of shame about rooting for him, it's Jesse Pinkman, honestly, you know? Jesse is definitely that character. But here in Better Call Saul, we don't know this cop. This cop literally just came in on this scene, and we've had Jimmy for over 3 seasons on this show and plenty of other episodes in Breaking Bad. So, yeah, we are rooting for Jimmy, and to be fair to Jimmy, everything he's doing is above board. That's the difference where Jesse, yes, he was trying to get rid of the evidence that he had a meth lab in an RV. Jimmy, everything he is doing is above board. He even said, I got a permit to park here and sell my phones, you know? Like, there is literally nothing illegal about what he's doing, you know? It's just him. He, you know, people roll up, he gives them the cell phones, they give the money, and that's that. And he's got a bodyguard on the payroll just to be sure he's okay. So, yes, I understand the frustration that this cop is going through, but I root for Jimmy, and to be fair to Jimmy, everything he is doing is above board. So, because that's one of the most brilliant things about Jimmy, is that everything he does is technically above board. Or if it's below board, it's below board in such a way that he won't be hit by it, basically. You know? That's the great thing about Jimmy. And that was the whole thing during, you know, the McGill Brothers Civil War, is everything Chuck would do is above board. Jimmy was below board, but he made it look like it was above board, and that's what mattered. So yeah. So Huel got busted, and he's gonna have to serve some jail time. I, for a second, was almost thinking like, oh, what if Huel has Ed's card, the vacuum guy, you know? The disappearer, like, oh, I don't need to, you know, if I run, you know, I'm not going to be Huel Babineau anymore. I've got a way of getting out. Maybe and then I thought, well, maybe that's where Jimmy gets that, you know? That's where Jimmy gets the card. But, no, that's not going to be it. So, and I like how it's like, oh, you know, one taillight gone, and suddenly, you know, you're a guy with a broken tail, driving with a broken tail light with a prior who ran, you know? And I like Huel's response of like, well, I won't have a busted tail light, you know? But yeah, that was interesting. That was really interesting. And had to go to Kim, who, yes, she is still reeling from this whole revelation that Jimmy's been, you know, selling drop phones for months. But, and yes, that definitely, I mean, this episode is definitely a division between Jimmy and Kim, you know? But I think she will do her best to help. And definitely, I mean, talking to that lawyer, which that is also garbage, you know? That is also garbage that it's like, you know, she would, you know, not do anything near what she's trying to do to Huel, you know? It's just doing, it's like, oh, they didn't have priors, and it's like, but they did things that were so much worse, and it's like, that's ridiculous and stupid. And, yeah, Kim is exactly right. It's like, well, you know, he was in plain clothes driving a plain car, he had his back turned to him, he didn't have a badge. You know, he didn't have a badge, you know, on his back. There was no way Huel would have known that that was a cop. Like, that is complete garbage, you know? But to her, it's like, oh, well, that's just, you know, his word and the witness of a scumbag selling phones to criminals. And, yeah, as soon as that hit, it's like, bitch, are you trying to get murdered? Because, like, look, Kim Wexler, she is such a nice, beautiful woman. But I don't think she's afraid to cut a bitch, you know? I don't think she's afraid to cut a bitch, if that need be. But, at the very least, she may legally cut a bitch. So she has a plan. She has a plan, and I'm very curious to see what that plan is going to be. We'll have to find out next time. Whatever it is, needed a lot of supplies, which was interesting. Meanwhile, Hector, I love that Hector, you know, he gave it away. He gave it away that he is still Hector Salamanca when he was checking out that nurse's ass. Oh, God. And that, I love that Gus saw that in the recording, and he knew, yep, he's still in there. And he's like, okay, then I can work with this. As long as he is Hector Salamanca, then I can leave him in this state, you know? The doctor, you know, is looking at this thinking, oh, well, and I wonder, like, how much she's in on it, you know? I mean, she has to be in on it to some degree, to where, I mean, she's showing Gus the recording. That's not a thing I don't think you can do for someone who's not family. So she must be in on it to some degree, but maybe she may just be like a doctor for the cartel or something. So she is just showing, you know, one of the higher ups of the cartel the progress, you know, pretty much the only higher up north of the border. So she's showing him that, but she's thinking, well, you know, hopefully he will be able to talk, he will be able to walk again, and he will be able to return to work with the cartel. Whereas Gus is thinking, no, I'm going to leave him in this state, because that way, pretty much that way, he will suffer. If I leave him exactly like this, he knows everything that's going on, everything, he's still Hector Salamanca in here, but he is so less able. The most he can do is just sort of move his finger, you know? So he is ready to leave Hector like that and let him suffer, let him stew in that. This is the best outcome that Gus could hope for from Nacho's plan. Speaking of, Nacho's still gone. Like, it's now months later, and Nacho's still gone. Where is he? I want to see my boy again, you know? And yeah, we didn't have Howard this episode either, but we haven't had Nacho for 3 episodes now. Like, how is he? I mean, surely he's recovered by now, especially now after the time jump. Like, where is he? And then the last thing is the lab, where work was progressing. It was progressing. They needed one last blast for the elevator shaft, and then one of the beams came down. That was rough. And yeah, it is. I mean, it's definitely nightmarish to be in this situation where it's like you pretty much only know that hole you're digging and pretty much the prison that you're in. And yeah, tensions are high. Tensions are difficult. Tensions are high with Kai, and unfortunately he's one of the best there. Otherwise Mike would send him back to Germany, you know? So, pretty difficult, but I definitely like the talk between Mike and Werner. Honestly, Werner's a really interesting character, and so the talk with them was nice, and you know, it's like, well, you know, you can't keep them in here forever. They need something. They need a change of scenery. They need something. And Mike realizes, okay, they need some R&R, rest and relaxation, and yeah. Not, you know, they don't need to just be sitting on their asses forever, but they need something, you know? They need something in order to have the energy and get the job done properly. So they're definitely going to look into that, I think. Definitely going to look into that. But are there going to be any more problems? See, here's what I'm thinking is if you give Kai, you know, an inch, he may want more, you know? You give him a bone, he's gonna want the meat, you know. Throw him a bone, he wants more. So I do worry about that a little bit, that could slightly backfire. And I mean, if it does backfire, I mean, this ain't gonna be like, you know, season 1 and season 2. It's like Mike's gonna have to put them down, I guess, you know. Either that, I mean, I guess right now the threat is sending at least one of them back to Germany, but I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if any problems arise. Will there be any problems that arise in a plot line in a Vince Gilligan production? Gee, I wonder. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see what it'll be. But yeah, really, really good episode. Again, between this, and they've all been good episodes this season, but between this and the last episode, I think, like, all right, we're doing stuff again, you know? And I'm glad for it, so. But yeah, we've got 3 more episodes left this season, so I'm very curious to see where we're going with that. But that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around to any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Better Call Saul reactions, as well as another playlist for all of my Breaking Bad reactions if you want to go check those out. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.